This content is based on facts for educational purposes. We do not intend to defame any company. Logos are omitted for copyright.
Have you ever really thought about what happens to your DNA after you seal that little tube and mail it off? Today we're diving deep into the massive financial crisis at 23andMe, and we're going to use their own public filings to figure out what this collapse means for the millions of people who handed over their most personal information.
I mean, listen to that mission. That's the promise that got so many of us excited, right? The idea that you could unlock the secrets of your own body, your health, your family history, all with a simple swab. It was a revolutionary concept. But as we're about to see the financial story behind that amazing promise, well, it's a whole different ballgame.
Because once you start peeling back the layers and looking at the actual numbers, a really troubling picture starts to form. The company is in the middle of a full-blown financial collapse, and it raises some huge questions about its future and the safety of that core mission.
And here it is, the big one. The company has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. For a company that was once a darling of Silicon Valley, this is a massive, massive deal. So, what does filing for Chapter 11 actually mean?
Okay, so think of Chapter 11 as hitting a giant pause button. It's a legal move that gives a company breathing room from the people it owes money to, so it can try to reorganize, restructure, and hopefully become profitable again. But let's be clear, it is a giant, flashing red light that signals some very, very deep financial trouble.
And to give you a sense of just how deep that trouble is, we're talking about an accumulated deficit of $2.5 billion. Just let that number sink in. That is a staggering financial hole to be in, and it really shows you how dire things had gotten by early 2025.
You know, this wasn't some sudden overnight implosion. The writing was on the wall for months. It all started back in late 2023, when the NASDAQ warned them their stock price was just too low. They got a little more time to fix it, but they couldn't turn things around. The bankruptcy filing was kind of the final domino to fall, getting them kicked off the major stock exchange for good.
So, the big question is, how does a company with such a brilliant, futuristic idea get into this kind of mess? To get that, we really have to look under the hood at how they were planning to turn your DNA into their dollars.
Their whole business model was basically a three-legged stool. The first leg, that's the one we all know, selling the DNA test kits. The second leg was a newer venture into telehealth after they bought a company called Lemonade Health. But the third leg, that was always the long-term prize, taking that massive, anonymized genetic database and using it for research deals with other companies.
And this table here, it really shows a key symptom of their problem. Now, this is just revenue from kits people bought but never sent back, so it's a small piece of the pie. But look at that trend. Down, down, down. It points to a much bigger issue, which is that the main pipeline of new customers was slowing down.
All right, so with money flying out the door and less coming in, the company had to make a move. And their plan was pretty drastic: sell off the crown jewels to whoever was willing to pay the most.
The first move was to strike a deal with Regeneron, a huge pharmaceutical company. And the deal wasn't for a small piece of the business. It was for substantially all of their assets. We're talking about the core of the company, the genetic testing, the brand, and yes, that incredibly valuable research database.
But wait, the plot thickens. Just when you think it's a done deal, another company, TTAAM, jumps in with a much higher offer. Suddenly, you've got a full-on bidding war. This actually happens a lot in bankruptcy cases, because the whole point is to squeeze every last dollar out of the assets for the people the company owes money to.
So, let's be crystal clear about what's actually on the auction block here. The winner gets the heart and soul of 23andMe, the testing business, and that giant database. What's not part of the deal is that telehealth business, Lemonade Health. In fact, the plan is just to shut that whole part of the company down after the sale.
So, with the company's core assets being auctioned off, the future of what we know as 23andMe is, well, it's completely up in the air. What's even going to be left when all the dust settles?
You know it's serious when the company's own accountants put out a warning like this. They've raised substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. In plain English, that's accountant speak for, we're not sure these guys are even going to be around in a year. That's a huge red flag.
So now everything, and I mean everything, is riding on this reorganization plan actually working. Their entire survival depends on successfully navigating this bankruptcy process, and there is absolutely no guarantee that they can pull it off.
And that brings us back to the biggest question of all. As the company gets broken up and sold for parts, what happens to its genetic promise? More importantly, what happens to the genetic data of millions of people? Think about it. You can change your password, you can change your credit card number, you can't change your DNA. This isn't just another business story. It's about trust, privacy, and the permanent nature of our own genetic code.